All right, folks. Hey, we are back. Welcome on back here this Tuesday afternoon. Great to have all of us back here November 4th. Not just inside our live trading room. Got Roberto and Bill still here just joining us. Who else we got? Michael just got back from voting, so back with us at least here. All right, remember to go out and vote. I will later on this afternoon myself. Leda, Tim, Kathleen. You got Alan just joining us here. I saw his email come in just before. Great to have Alan still with us. Wishing Chris well, of course, Dave, Margaret, all of us here now. Otherwise, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. All of our social media streams and platforms alike popping up lower left right in front of my setup here at Cyber Trading You. If you're new to our platform, stream, whatever it may be, make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button. Either way, we stream live each and every weekday, Monday to Friday, as long as the market's got a pulse. We are there for it. So, we'll be back here tomorrow morning, at least bright and early at 9 o'clock Eastern. Let me actually get the webcam up for all of us inside our live trading room. Great to see you guys, right? So without further ado, let's hop right into the U trade. All about you. It's all about you this afternoon, Margaret. All about you this afternoon, Bill, Leda, Tim. It's all about you. You. That's like the preferred way I like to call it. All about you. We say like you. It sounds like kind of weird coming out the lips there. So at least for right now, the U trade, all about you. The market was pulling back heading into the open today, so a lot of trades were getting beat up pretty bad early on. We'll get to actually CIFR. This was actually down big early on today. It did recover. It made a slingshot. Not everything did, though. There's a bunch of trades that are still very weak heading into the afternoon. Carnival Cruise Line at the low of the day. Moderna was at the low of the day just before. That's still pulling back a bit. But, the U trade, early on today, it pulled back. It was down big from the day prior. I think they even had their earnings that came out actually from the last day or so. But trend from yesterday, down. Who's winning that local battle when the stock is trending down from yesterday? The sellers. Now, long-term, obviously, different story, right? Long-term, been a great swing trade back from July all the way through into October. Now, with that, though, with lower highs come lower lows. I ended up jumping into this a little bit earlier, right around here, right around like 12 o'clock, 12:15 p.m. Eastern. I pretty much instantly jumped in, and then I called it out to all of us just pretty much live. I just said, the U trade looks pretty good. Well, actually, I wrote this early in the morning. I'll give you the full commentary here, actually, in fact. Got some chat from Grant, from Brian on it. He was looking for a bounce maybe around reversal time there. But, otherwise, this has been a pretty weak trade of late. And, I mean, early on, it's an arrow. Whoops. Right here, you can see 8:52 in the morning. I was commenting on that as early as pre-market hours, but from there though at 12:28, going to look for a short. That's not ass. It's not ass, guys. It's not ASS. It's a short. I'm going to look for a short. SS means short on U. Dependent on the market pulling back, I think it will. And then from there, I was looking for a drop down to 1680. So hey, what do you know? We're there now. You know what? I think there's a chance for us to even drop more heading into the afternoon. Listen, it's on the losers list. It's down over 5% right now. There's a lot of people out there calling for a recession, calling for a bear market, perhaps including Jim Cramer, right? Jim Cramer's calling for a bear market, calling for a recession of sorts. I think he announced that last night on his show. Maybe that's an indication of a bull market coming up, right, guys? So, I mean, hey, we're here to follow the trend. All kidding aside, we always bust Kramer's bulls a little bit, but at least heading into the afternoon, lower highs. We're looking for a break lower into the close, so there could be some good shorts to work with. There could also be, some good inverse trades to work with on the upside, like UVIX possibly going up. MSTZ was a nice stock recently. That's pushing back on up right now. MSSMCZ, that's an MSCI one, at least I'm familiar with. So I'm sure we'll find a couple of these that are actually on the gainers list here in just a moment. But for right now, going back to my U, I don't know if anyone jumped in this trade as we were calling it out throughout the early to mid-afternoon. Not everyone's here at their desk at this point. So, I always like to ask in the morning, ask in the later part of the day, the afternoon, who's in what. I didn't expect too many people to be around to tail me on this trade, but it's been working out beautifully since. You might get a little bounce coming up here too, so keep that in mind. I'm going to stay in this trade, and actually, we're going to put this on our watch list to start as a short. As a short here for now, follow the trend. And, now what we'll just do is go from top to bottom, no otherwise. We'll scan at least the gainer side first, see if there's anything looking as good, if not better, on the way up. I'm down on a Fubo long. There's my NVIDIA long that I'll still keep for a little while. I took half out on that already, but EV okay? Oh, EVOK get bought out? Wow, this is a throwback trade. This is a throwback stock for me. So EVOK, I don't want to go too much into this, flat my gums too much here, but EVOK was a stock that I jumped into as a swing trade like years and years and years and years back, like pretty much 9, 10 years ago. And this was something I did with a buddy of mine. We split a trading account together. And I don't know how we found this stock even. I don't even remember that part of the story, but I remember their drug Gamalti, that, whatever. And I guess they got bought out. That's pretty cool. But that's obviously 10 years down the line, though. So I'm just kind of reminiscing on the past here. But they got bought out for $11 per share in cash. Buyouts don't move. So we're done with that. DTCK is trying to push back up a little bit. It did pull back just a moment ago. Be careful on how thin the order book is for this trade. I'll even come back to this at the end. I'm not fully sold on this trying to push even higher here. This is a nasty drop. Pulls right back down below 5, below this range here around like 520-ish, 525. So we'll even come back to that at the end. Now, EVOK is a buyout. Denny's a buyout. We're not going to trade that either. So we're done on that. Hertz. Missed out on Hertz this morning. I'm a little upset about that. We call this point blank out perfectly, too, for you also. If anyone jumped in from the 582, that was your level to work with going into the open. I was looking right when I should have been looking left. And basically, this popped from that 582 level, and I didn't want to chase it. So I ended up missing out on pretty much this whole move today. This is my commentary on this trade today on the Hertz. There's probably more in between. This is my search that I did. I was talking about 572, 582 as a historical area to begin with, but this is the larger talking point. There was a huge print that got filled in the pre-market hours. Big old dot popping up on Bookmap, big print on time and sales, and that creates a new level. That changes the game. So that was actually at the 582. So that just solidified that heading into the open, right? I even wrote that to you at 8:59 in the morning. So I'm kind of kicking myself more than anything because I should have just taken that trade myself. I was looking right when I should have been looking left, and this popped and ran without me. Actually, maybe it goes, I was looking left when I should have been looking right, because if the chart goes left to right, this thing was running rightward without me, right? So it's just dimension upward and to the right. This thing has been a beautiful trade all day so far. It's still lingering below 7 around this. Actually, I was calling this out here too with one of my students in coaching earlier today, but I'll just let you interpret this for about 10 seconds. You know what I mean? I'll let you interpret that and tell me what you say. Yeah. So the more times it keeps testing that, eventually we're going to get what we want. Is that going to be today? I don't think that's going to be today. If it is today, we'll call it out just 3 o'clock, 3:15, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. I would wait to see like that 7:05-ish break, if anything. Again, if you want me to come back to that trade at the end of this meeting, I will. Let's just keep going through though for right now. iHeart, this actually looks somewhat good here. It's like kind of sideways a bit now, lower highs, but higher lows. Hopefully it could blast over this 410-ish area here and just run up higher like it did back in the after hours yesterday. Yeah, that was like 5:30 in the afternoon yesterday. All right, so iHeart, IHRT probably just off earnings. I don't mind just putting that on our list for now. Keep it in mind. Turn. This thing just keeps going back on up, huh? I mean, just keeps us putting this on our watch list for right now, and better that than otherwise. I mean, hey, it's nice to trust the stock and know that it can run day over day for a little while. The only issue on the stock is just it's got a thin book at times, but the spread's been tolerable. So I'll add the turn trade back to our list. TERN. Why not? SAGT, be careful on this thing. Like we had said earlier, it came back down pretty nastily. This is some low volume, low float stock. You can't trust this as far as you could throw it. CMBM, you could say the same thing on. CMBM was actually a trade back from last week. We did really well on. Got all these crazy ass lines here. Give me a second. Just delete all this now. So, popped up pretty nicely for us back when it was on like that Wednesday into Thursday morning. It was that pre-market. So great trade at the time, but it comes crumbling back down. You can't trust it. It's coming back up a little bit here. Maybe we could put it on our list for the afternoon. It's got a good order book at least. Spread's opening up a little bit, but order size is pretty good. Iceberg read at 259. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this at the end. Not fully committed. Ooh, what was that one? That one's actually going up pretty nicely. RLMD. This one's looking great. Great order book. It's actually approaching resistance right here, looking healthier than the other one. So RLMD. Nice to see it. Better now than ever. I took a loss on this NFE trade earlier today. This one I jumped in on. I even forgot where, to be quite honest with you. In and out pretty quick. What was the other one? SCNX. That was the cheap one. This cheap thing got me some pennies and saved me from taking a decent sized haircut on NFE. One wiped out the other, so at least that happened. But we're done with those trades. PLTZ, PLTR dropping off with the market, so I'm sure we're going to find some name brand stocks, some other trades that we're familiar with on the way down. May as well talk about Palantir coming off their earnings. This is exactly where we say don't trust the news. Don't just jump into a trade because you hear positive earnings. I think they had a double beat and they raised their guidance. So I don't know what Dr. Alex Karp said that just killed the whole momentum of this trade. Maybe it was the whole macro market there, just a lot of people selling off, insider selling perhaps across the whole market. I know there are some indicators that flipped bearish recently. Obviously, the great Jim Cramer says we're in a bear market now, so we got to be in one. No, I mean, teasing aside again, PLTZ on the way up goes inverse to PLTR going down. So got to put both on our list there. IONZ going back to this here now too. So this is where we're going to find some shorts now, actually kind of following the inverse of some of these trades. IONQ going down, IONZ going up. We don't need to add every single pair or inverse, guys. We just got to add the ones that look the best. So, I'll just even cherry pick the rest now at this point because we already have a pretty big watch list and we do want to look at the shorts because not everything has an inverse. So we're probably going to find some stocks just moving on their own also on the downside there, like the U trade. So, nothing else really. What is this? Q? The hell stock is this? Just Q? Never seen that before. Oh, it's an IPO. What do you know? I was like, okay. See, this is where you know your stocks. If you're around the block as long as we've been here, you don't really see single letter stocks pop up like this. The last one that it kind of reminds me of is S, which now is Sentinel One. But for any of my longtime students here, how about this little pop quiz before we move on to the loser side here? Just funny running into this Q trade. I'm like, what the hell is a stock named Q? Well, what was S actually? Does anyone remember? Oh, Leda, you actually right away you beat me to the punch. You beat everyone to the punch. Actually, I was gonna have everyone take a few seconds to answer. Leda has good memory. She knows right away. It's Sprint. Yeah, S used to be Sprint back in the day, huh? Then I think they got bought out or whatever the hell happened with them. Now S is Sentinel. It's just to say it was kind of funny seeing Q. Like, what the hell is a Q trade here? I've never seen Q before. So, well, it's pretty new. That's why Q new. Let's hop over to the loser side, though. While we're at it, I'll stop flapping my gums and getting sidetracked. So SRPT came off, obviously, some sort of news, whether it was earnings or bad news for a drug. Either way, they got crushed. So lower highs here. That actually is pretty interesting to see a pullback heading into the afternoon. It's just not really close enough towards support yet. It's got a ways to go to get down there first, even. I feel like there's weaker trades, like the ADTN stock right now. It's at the low of the day. It's easy to borrow on TradeStation, at least. It broke below the low back from mid-October, broke below this wick here from late August. It's approaching this back from early August, right around 794, 793. So, something like this is more compelling to me for right now, the ADTN trade. So we'll add that to our watch list for right now. What do we got here? ADTN. Skip that one there accidentally. Actually, right back to a stock that we had from yesterday. In fact, SOC. This thing only continues to dump lower. So, yeah, why not? If this is easy to borrow on your platform, then you absolutely should look at this as a short. I'm actually going to put this kind of near the top of our watch list, actually. I'll put this like number 2. This is like one of the better looking trades to work with. VSTM, I kind of skipped over there just for a moment. Yeah, this one's not looking as good, though. Pizza. Actually, let me go back to that. Some news had to have broken midday for this trade, right at 1:45 in the afternoon, a little before that. Either way, it's kind of curdling back up. Either way, order book is skimpy. There's no need for that. PTI. All right, so now we're getting to more ETFs, and other stocks too. So we talked about CCL being at the low of the day earlier before. That's down about 8.8%. NCLH is down about 14, 15%. Didn't even realize that. So, uh, you know what? I don't mind kind of putting those on our list there. WRD is crashing. That's a great short to work with heading into the afternoon. Looks like it's right back down towards this wick. 940. It kind of just broke below there a moment ago, broke below 978, 975 from earlier today. That was just earlier this morning. Oops. There we go. Yeah, WRD. I like this trade. This one's looking pretty interesting as a short. You know, just continuing down lower, broke below a local support line there historically. And VTS, not terrible. QURE pulled back. That was a good trade from yesterday, but that was kind of it. One and done there. Pony's hard to borrow from me, but it looks like it's dropping off a lot. This thing had a good run up. It's kind of right at a big area here, a huge support area here, potentially needs to stay over. So, uh, you know what? Maybe I put this on our list at the end, just on the back side, just more for curiosity to see if this holds or not. It's not like anything I'm like overtly confident in for a bounce or swing trade in. Follow the trend first. So, you know, if this breaks, this thing's screwed. This thing should likely dump off a lot more. And if it were to, it's just hard to borrow from me, but you should be able to get the shares. Soon dropping off. I got out on the swing trade on that a day or two ago. That was a really nice exit. So only pulled back more today, at least. Kind of fell off a cliff today, in fact. So actually, this trade, if anything, is a short too. I don't mind putting this on our list also. Path, we've seen a trade better. Jobby, let me go back to the long-term chart for Jobby. This is breaking a little bit lower here, it seems. Oh, yeah. We'll see if it holds below this heading into tomorrow at the least. But again, another stock that we've seen trade better on the way up or on the way down, either way. It's obviously made a great short from the morning throughout the day today, but heading into the afternoon, I know it's kind of stalling here, but even at that, we've seen it trade faster. There's been more life on that trade in the past. I'd rather focus on an SMR. Let's see, anything else looking good here? QBTS down a lot. We already got the IO and Q. So I'll cherry pick the quantum trades, see which ones are looking the weakest. QUBT is the cheapest. I don't know about the weakest. It's the cheapest of them, I feel. QBTS, I feel like could be the weakest. That's right at a major support right now at 30 bucks. You know, 90,000 share order on the bid sitting there. It's like the second time it's getting tested. So, you know what? I don't mind kind of with the IO and Q. I'll add the QBTS trade. This probably is like one of the weaker trades to work with heading into the close. Wow, Weeble's way below 10. This thing stinks. This company stinks out loud. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. We've been looking for a bounce on this, not really like of recent, but you know, from early June into mid-August, we were looking kind of for a higher high, never got it. Ended up bailing on it for other trades, but we were looking for support maybe at 10. I think Fausto was kind of thinking about. Well, broke through that pretty quickly early on today, and that's not a good signal. That's a bad sign there. So I didn't jump in, but that was like a call out from like a month or two ago. And well, obviously a lot of these trades, you kind of take a look at where they fell off from. DraftKings here have been probably one of the weakest trades across the whole market of late. DraftKings, Caesars is like not down as much today, I guess. But DKNG is getting beat up bad. That's right at a big historical level. I don't mind slipping DraftKings on our list as a short for right now. That one looks nice. Coinbase, listen, there's probably going to be some traction on Bitcoin. I've been telling you this from the last. Oh, we did it. We got right down to 100K. Yeah, there we go. I mean, I don't think we're bouncing anytime soon here, guys. Just to mention, though, that with this trade, Bitcoin, I've been telling you from like last week, the beginning of last week, I think there's a good shot for us to go below 100,000. Even yesterday, I was saying like 92K coming to a theater near you. It's going to happen. So, Fausto kind of kept asking, like, well, what do you think on Bitcoin? I'm like, I got my feet kicked back here. We're fine. I'm in cash right now with this. So I tried testing the waters on an Ethereum trade, maybe like a week or two back. and I took a small loss on it. I took a medium-sized loss on it, but better that than to hang on any further. So I got out like last week on it, but obviously it kept dropping off more from that point. Now I'm going to sit back and wait. Now, if we can get another like 10% drop, 8 to 10% drop from here, I think at that point that gives us good reason to re-enter and then see if there's a new bull market again at that point. So it's going to take time. Just be careful on this though, heading into even tonight, heading into the overnight hours tonight, because there's probably a bunch of orders that are triggered to get taken out if this breaks really a hair lower from here. I mean, I kind of broke below 100,000 on my chart, but that doesn't mean it broke below 100K on other broker exchange charts. Like if it's like Binance or Coinbase, exchange, if whatever spot price they have Bitcoin at. So just later on tonight, I think the shit might hit the fan. So, and I'll probably say that for a little bit here because we're already at 100K now. Actually, I've been calling this out since like 116K pretty much here, saying that this is your next resistance. And I was expecting a bit of a pullback from there, and then we would see what would happen. Well, we pulled back, all right. So, at that point, now at this stage, we'll see if we go much lower, below that 100K. But that kind of takes me back to some of the other trades that we have on the loser side here. IBIT is down about 5%. MSTR just broke a new low right now, down about 6.5%. Coinbase down big right now too. So I don't know, guys, are there inverse tickers for Coinbase? I know that there's the inverse for MSTR. That's the MSTZ that we just talked about. So I don't mind adding that MSTR, MSTZ combo there. If you got anything else though for me here, just folks, let me know. Leda, as always, appreciate you every day. Thank you so much. Conk, there we go. Great to always have you here. Have you back here, Conk. All right, what else we got here inside our live trading room? GT Mike, or I'm sorry, Tim, then Mike. It's strong considering the market today. Just a little slow right now. So something to keep in mind going into tomorrow, into later this week, next week. If we were to get a nice strong reversal within the stock market coming up soon, then this is holding up better than the rest. It's kind of like, to a degree, the Fubo trade. I'm down like a few pennies on this right now because I thought this would run sooner than this year off the 370. But I'm going to hang. It's just to say it's up 5%, right? So it's holding up well, but it's a little sluggish. So it could be a very good swing idea there, Tim, on the GT. I like the call out on the swing. Oh, and you just there you go. I'm going from top to bottom, Tim. Sorry there. So reading your comment now, you already made great mention of this. Tim says GT is like paint drying, but the daily chart. And there you go. Good minds think alike, Tim. I did not read that comment till just now. Mike says, I hear you and Rich say a stock is moving back towards its opening print. What significance do you put on the opening print? Mike, that's something I take a lot of time. I go over that just like directly in phase 2, the phase 2 stock course. So actually, if you want to join us coming up in November's classes, I'll likely touch on that a lot more. Otherwise, that's something I could even hit more on in Traders Talk. I took even some time, I think, on Monday to go over that. But even next Monday, I'll take even further time to kind of do that again. But that's a huge level to look for based on volume. But that's something I have like a 60-minute class on. I have a couple big classes in phase 2. I talk about volume, interpreting volume live with time and sales, book map, etc. Jerry, is Coinbase your broker to trade? It is mine, but there's others. There's, I think, Robinhood, which I now actually am hearing some scrutiny on. I don't know why. I got to look further into that. Here's the thing. In America, in the U.S., there's a lot of exchanges that are restricted from American users from using. So I personally use Coinbase. I think Kraken is one that you could happen to use also. Albert says Bitcoin went below 100. It depends on the exchange, but it's coming to a theater near you. 92K coming to a theater near you. How about that? All right, folks, we're going to wrap up here in just a bit. Last call. Let me know if anything else is looking good. Up, down, left, right, more than 5%. DTCK maybe. Again, this is kind of like losers here a little bit there. I kind of built out. So DTCK, it's trying, proving itself a bit. We got a freaking big watch list here, guys. Not too surprising because we short much like we go long. So it's not just like buying opportunities, but there's a bunch of short opportunities to work with. And well, for those, you got the inverse tickers too. So again, let me pretty that list out up to you folks inside the chat room. Bob, Albert, Michael, Jerry. Who else we got here this afternoon? We got Guy, we got Joyce, we We got Sarah joining us here. We got Shaffin joining us here. Tom, we got Tim, Wendy, all of us here. So give me a moment. I'll just kind of edit that, pretty it up, making sure it looks good. And then we'll be back on going into the afternoon, folks. You got me for the afternoon. So let me recharge the lips, grab a sip of water. We'll be good to go coming up in just about 10 or so minutes. Shortly after 3 o'clock, I'll be back on myself going into the close there, folks. Talk to you all soon. Take care.